Misterio. I am Dr. Misterio. Welcome.
It's Dr. Mysterio's patented video, Almanac of Fun. It's bursting out with things to do by yourself or with someone. There's mystery and magic to amaze you and your friends. When you open up the almanac, the excitement never ends.
Watch. Listen. Learn. Enjoy.
So open up your eyes and ears, the adventure just begun. As we open up the pages of Dr. Mysterio's patented video almanac of fun.
Here's how to make change with a dollar bill. But the change is not exactly what you'd expect. Start with a real dollar bill and watch what happens. Hold it with old George facing you like our genius is doing here, and fold it exactly like he does. Now 3 little magic taps, unfold to the right, and ta-da! It's upside down. Now that's really changing a dollar bill.
Who has more paper to fold around with than the guy who prints our newspapers? He's the guy who invented what we're going to fold here, the pressman's hat. Start with a regular double page of standard-size newspaper, like this. Close it on the crease, and then fold the 2 creased corners down like this. Now fold one of the double pages up 1 inch and crease it. Next, fold the rest of that same page up as far as it'll go. In other words, up to the triangular flaps. Okay, now, turn the whole thing over. This next step will determine how big the hat size will be. If you want to be sure it'll fit you, measure around your head with a piece of string. Fold the string in half, and that's the length you'll need to make this next fold. Using the string as a guide, fold the outside edges over until they are the length of the string. Next, fold the lower left and right-hand corners up to the folded band like this. Okay, just a few more folds now and we'll have it, so watch carefully. Fold the bottom section up like this, over what will be the brim, and tuck it in and crease it firmly. Fold the pointed part down at these points. Crease it and tuck it into the brim. Turn it towards you, open it up, lay it on the table, and shape it like this. Now, fold the 2 remaining points and tuck them in like this. And there you have it, the pressman's hat. Whoa, what's this? It's a pressman's hat all duded up, that's what. You see, once you've become proficient at making all the folds, you can cut gift wrap or any other large kind of paper to the size of a newspaper, and you can decorate them any way you want. You can even wear a different hat every day. Or make hats for a whole party. You might even start a business. Custom hip hats by Betty or Bob. You'll have fun, though, even though you're just folding around.
Where's a beaver keep his money at? In a branch bank? Ooh! Stupid.
This is the video detective. We're going to test your powers of observation and concentration. Have you ever been to a police lineup? What if it were up to you to pick the guilty suspect out of a group of 6 people who look very much alike? Would you pick the right one or an innocent man? Let's begin with a description of the man we're looking for. We're going to have the victim give you her story and description. Remember it well, because only one of our suspects will truly fit the description.
He had a mustache. That's what I was noticing when he grabbed my purse. And he had on a red sweater. He was about medium height and had narrow shoulders. And I guess he was about 20 years old. And that's all I can remember, except he grabbed my purse and ran like the wind. And I had over $200 in it. Oh, please, help me get that money back.
Now, here are the 6 suspects in our lineup. Look them over very carefully, because only one really fits that description. The rest are innocent. Did you spot him? Let's see. Let's listen to our victim's description once more to see if you forgot anything.
He had a mustache. That's what I was noticing when he grabbed my purse. And he had on a red sweater. He was about medium height and had narrow shoulders. And I guess he was about 20 years old. And that's all I can remember, except he grabbed my purse and ran like the wind. And I had over $200 in it. Oh, please, help me get that money back.
Think about it very carefully. Here's another brief look at the 6 suspects. Then we'll show you who the purse snatcher really was. Well, if you noticed, only 2 of our suspects were wearing red sweaters. The others wore sweatshirts or jackets. And between these 2 wearing sweaters, the one on the left had a very bad limp, so he could hardly have run like the wind. This is our man. Well, how did you do? This is the video detective saying, keep your eyes open. You never can tell what you might see.
What's a beaver's favorite drink? Root beer? Oh, don't.
Brand new, because you make it yourself.
Now let's turn your basic bleach bottle boat into an old-time paddle boat. Now this is not a long-distance boat, so don't send it toward the middle of a large pond or you may have to wait for it to drift to shore. This one is better for a small pond. First, here's what you'll need. A small block of wood wider than the bottle, 2 5-inch lengths of 1/4-inch dowel rod, a paint mixing stick like this, glue, and a rubber band. Let's start with a paddle. You'll need to cut the pieces from the paint stick or other wood of this thickness and width. Cut the pieces 3 inches long. Next, mark the middle of each piece at 1½ inches. Then, using one piece as an outline for the other, mark the slots to be cut out to go just slightly more than halfway across each one, like this. After you've cut out both slots with a saw, slip them together to see how they fit. Make any adjustments necessary so they come together like this. Then take them apart, apply a little glue, reassemble them, and set your paddle aside to dry. This next part is a little more difficult, so watch carefully. Draw a line with a ruler and pen about 1/2 inch from the bottom of the boat on the back. Here and here. Now mark a line across each of the first marks. This is where you'll cut the holes for the dowel rods. With your knife, make a cross cut no more than 1/4 inch long on each mark. Now push the dowel rods through from the inside. This is the piece you'll anchor the dowel rods into. It should be about 3/4 of an inch thick, 2 inches wide by 6 inches long. First, trace the curve of the boat bottom onto the wood. Do this by holding it against the back of the keel of the boat and drawing like this. Then, with a saw, cut the piece of wood on the curve so it looks like this. Place it in the bottom of the boat and check it for fit. If you need to make it smaller, cut off a bit with your coping saw or use a wood file. When you're satisfied that it fits, put it back into the boat and slide it toward the dowel rods. The dowel rods should stick out of the back of the boat about 3 inches. Line up the dowel rods so they are parallel from front to rear and slant down slightly, like this. Then with a pen, mark the spots where the rods touch the wood block. Take the block out again and drill 1/4 inch holes on the marks about halfway through the block. Now, put the block back into the boat and push the dowel rods into the holes. It should look like this. You need to glue the wood block to the bottom and sides of the boat. Let it dry, and now you're ready to put on the paddle. Slip a small rubber band over the paddle and then slip it over the dowel rods. You are now ready for the maiden voyage. Wind the paddle toward you, set it on the water, and watch her go. You're now the proud captain of a paddle-powered bleach bottle boat. And remember, it's brand new because you made it yourself.
Here's something we think you'll find so neat to eat, you'll want to make it often. And you'll probably find everything you need right in the kitchen. So get set and watch how to make the world's greatest cinnamon toast. Right, none of that pasty store-bought stuff for you. You're the chef, and you can make it fresh whenever you want. First, you need a toaster. Now, if you have one of these toaster ovens like many people do, you won't need to use the broiler. If you don't, just start with toast made in a regular toaster and ask if you can use the big oven for a few minutes. Either way, start with a piece of toast. Now, butter it well so that the other ingredients will melt together. Now sprinkle sugar all over the toast. But wait a minute. Want to make it the world's greatest? Then use brown sugar. Ooh, what a secret that is. Now for the cinnamon. Sprinkle it over the top. Now you're ready to blend together one of the world's greatest taste combinations. If you're using a toaster oven, be sure to put the toast on a tray. You might even put a little aluminum foil to save cleanup. If you're going to use the oven broiler, use foil again, so there's no mess to clean up. Like this. Now, broil it until it's all hot and bubbling. And then take it out. I'm going to hold it. Don't try to eat it right away, because it will burn your mouth. Just let it cool for a few minutes, and then pour yourself a glass of milk and enjoy. Congratulations, Chef. You've done it. Here are a few other little tips. If you get hooked on the stuff, pre-mix the sugar and cinnamon and store it in an airtight jar. Then all you have to do is put it on buttered toast. For variety, try it on toasted raisin bread. Outstanding. In the gourmet version, sprinkle chopped nuts on top. Well, that's it. Now you know how to make something that's really neat to eat.
Here's a stunt that amazes everybody. The question is, can 4 people lift another person using only the index finger of each hand? Let's see. Nope, doesn't work. But it will work if you each put your hands on top of the person's head, push down slightly, count to 5, and then quickly try it again. Watch. Incredible! The person seems light as a feather. You'll be amazed, and so will they. Try it.
Hey, what made the beaver an orphan? He ate his family tree.
Ow! I'm gonna get you.
Brand new, because you make it yourself.
How much would you pay for this exquisite grandmother figurine? Or this matching grandfather? Well, how much would you pay for this apple? The dolls won't cost you much more than the apple, because that's what the heads are made of. Carved, dried apples. Look closely. You can simply carve apple heads if you prefer and forget about making a body. They can make quite an interesting collection, too. Here's how to begin. You'll need a potato peeler and a small paring knife. Now, peeling and carving aren't difficult or dangerous if you're very careful, but by all means get permission to use the carving tools. Begin by paring the apple of all its peel. Then, cut out the stem and flatten it on the bottom, as we've done here. Carving the apple into a head can be done many different ways. If you're very good at sculpting or get someone to help you, you can make a very interesting face, but you don't need to. Even a very simple face may dry into something extremely interesting. You will need to make sure there's a definite nose, 2 depressions for the eyes, and a fairly deep cut for the mouth. With a larger apple, you can be more elaborate. With a smaller one, you may want to make it very simple, like this. Once you're satisfied with the shape of the head, you'll need to prepare it for drying. One of the best ways is to run a wire through the apple and hang it in a well-ventilated dark spot. It's a good idea to brush it with lemon juice first to keep it from molding. Here's what that small one we just showed you looked like after about 3 weeks. As you can see, the drying adds some very realistic character to the heads. Now it's ready to shellac to prevent it from drying more and shriveling up. If the head is small enough, it's best to dip it into the shellac like this to make sure it's completely sealed against the air. If it's too big to dip, give it several thorough coats with a brush. Set it aside until it's completely dry before you continue. It'll be best to hang it up over some newspapers so the shellac won't stick to anything. Once the shellac is dry, you're ready to start making the body. For the dolls we've shown you, we used stiff wire to make a skeleton and then wrapped it with sheet foam to give it volume. There are many ways to make the body and the clothes, and you can have a great deal of fun designing your own. Most fabric stores sell remnants of cloth very cheaply. You can even find bits of lace and felt. For hair, you can use cotton, feathers, bits of fur, and even special fiber from a craft store. On our doll, we used a bottle cap covered with felt for the hat, fiber for the hair, thin wire for the glasses, lace for the collar, felt for the coat and gloves, and remnants for the skirt. And even if you can't sew, you can put them together with glue. When you've made 1 or 2 apple heads and seen the results, someone may ask, "What would you take for this exquisite figurine?" And you'll probably say, "Sorry, not for sale. It's new because I made it myself."
Want to be a whistling whiz kid? Then watch and practice, because we're going to show you the 2-finger method. It's always a good idea to wash your hands first. Dirty fingers won't hurt the whistle, but they could hurt the whistler. Okay, first put your fingers together like this with the tips touching. Then, with your fingertips still touching, put them under the tip of your tongue and raise it slightly. Now, push your tongue back until you can close your lips on about the first knuckles of your fingers. Use a mirror. It'll help you get the right placement. Now, tighten your lips around your fingers so no air will escape except through the V-shaped notch you've formed with your fingers. This is the way it'll look from the side. Notice how the tongue is pushed back and up. Notice how the air should go. Now, begin blowing with a steady stream of air. You'll have to move your fingers around until you find just the right opening for your size mouth. Don't give up. It takes time to develop a great whistle. But wait till you get it down right. Then you, too, will become one of the whistling whiz kids.
You can't turn seawater into gold, but you can use regular water to turn an egg silver. Use a hard-boiled egg, a large mesh strainer, a candle, and a clear glass or plastic container filled with water. Put the egg in the strainer and hold it over the candle to blacken it. You'll have to slowly roll the egg around to get it completely black on all sides. Don't hold it all the way into the flame, but just at the tip so it will collect the carbon or soot. The whole process will take 4 or 5 minutes to get the egg thoroughly black on every side. When it's done, blow out the candle and carefully pick up the egg by the ends. It should be completely black, like this. Now, slowly and carefully lower the egg into the water and watch. You've just created a silver-plated egg. Of course, when you take it out of the water again, it's just a messy, partially blackened egg. Ah, but remember the magic mixture and turn an egg silver. Who knows, someday you may turn seawater into gold.
Hey, is this another beaver joke? No, I get sick of more.
This is Dr. Misterio. Here are some great things we'll show you how to make in our next Almanac of Fun. A very special lamp for your room. A magical crystal garden. A sailboat from a bleach bottle. Your own wave-making machine. Some great new paper airplanes. A necklace from a beautiful stone. And a bleach bottle airboat. We'll see you there.
Dr. Mysterio's